In this video, I'll be explaining how to work with functions that may fail under certain circumstances, and how the result data type may be used to handle these types of situations. A result is a data type that contains one of two different types of data. It either contains successful data or it contains error data. It's used in scenarios where an action needs to be taken, but has the possibility of failure. Some examples are copying a file. Perhaps the file was previously deleted before we tried copying it, and that would result in an error. Another example is connecting to a website. Maybe the website's down, the network is down, or maybe the Wi-Fi connection isn't that great. A result can be used in all of those scenarios to detail the error on why you'd be unable to connect to a website. Here is the definition of a result. Similar to an option, a result is simply an enum, which contains two variants. It either has an OK variant, which represents the operation was successfully completed, so it's OK. And then there is the error variant, ERR for short. And that means the operation failed and there's some error that occurred. Also similar to the option, we have the T type, which is a placeholder for any type you like. And then we have E, which is another placeholder. The letters used for these T and E's are arbitrary. T just means any type, and we use E for any type as well in this case, and E would just be short for error. So a result can either be OK with some data, or it can be an error with some other data. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have a function named getSound. It retrieves some sound data based on the name of a sound. The name is passed in as a string slice. It then returns a result. The result, if it's OK, it will contain some sound data. If an error occurs trying to load this sound data, we'll return a string that details why the error occurred. Sound data is a fictional data type created just for this demo and is used just to conceptually show how a result would work. Within our function, all we're doing is checking to see if the name is equal to alert. So we only have one sound and it must be called alert. If the name supplied is alert, then we're going to return OK. So this means the function was successful. We return OK by creating some new sound data using this alert information. If the name is not alert, so it's something else, then we're going to return an error. So ERR is short for error. We're going to return an error with the message unable to find sound data. We then turn it into an owned string since we need owned data for this function. Similar to the option, the OK and error variants are always available for use, so you don't need to have the double colons to get access to it. To use this function, we will just try to get the sound, so we'll get an alert sound. And whether or not it succeeds or fails, that's going to go into the sound variable. We then match on the sound variable. If it was OK and we have sound data, then this branch will run. And all we're doing is printing out that we located some sound data. In this case, we're ignoring the sound data because it's not relevant to our example. If an error occurs, then we do want to know what the error message is. So the E is the error. And we're just going to print line that we have an error, and we'll detail what the error message is, which is an E. In this case, alert is available here, so it'll be an OK, and the OK will print out sound data located. If we had supplied something that was not alert, then we would hit the error, and it would say error, unable to find sound data. To recap, a result represents either success or failure. The OK variant indicates that the operation was completed successfully. The error variant indicates that the operation failed. This is useful when you're working with functionality that can potentially fail. To use results, you use the results with a type that's for success and a type that's for an error. And that can be used in structures and in your function signatures.